Prophets throughout history had received their visions in deserts, on mountain tops, or in caves echoing with divine thunder. Arthur Overton got his in Greggs. It was just another Tuesday in Scunthorpe. Outside, the rain came at an angle, baptising the town in drizzle and diesel fumes. Scunthorpe shimmered faintly beneath the grey sky. A town that had once dreamed of greatness, but now mostly dreamed of lunch. Inside, Greggs glowed like a refuge for the mildly defeated. The chatter of track-suited people filled the air, mostly vape flavours and Love Island theories. The room hummed with pastry warmth, small talk, and that faint smell of sugar and surrender. Arthur sat beneath a flickering meal deal £3.50 sign, its failing light catching the crown of his head. A battlefield where a few heroic strands still clung to life, fluttering in the breeze like the last survivors of a forgotten regiment, bravely resisting the slow, inevitable march of the Norwood Reaper. He didn't care, not anymore. Once he'd wanted to be someone, a writer, a thinker, a man who mattered, but life had quietly whittled him down to size. He'd been left at the altar once, then quietly ghosted by ambition itself. His inbox was still full of messages that began with, unfortunately, as if the word had been personally assigned to him by fate. Now, all that remained was the holy trinity of losing hope. A lukewarm steak bake, a bottle of Fanta, and a glazed donut sweating faintly under the fluorescent lights. He took a bite of the steak bake, too hot in the middle, too cold at the edges, and stared out the window, waiting for nothing in particular. The first sign. Steam rose from the pastry, not lazily, but with purpose, curling into what could only be described as the shape of a glowing brain. Arthur blinked. The chatter of Greggs dimmed. The hum of refrigerators fell silent. For the first time in years, something stirred inside him that wasn't resignation. He looked down at his receipt. It read A61. He frowned, squinting at it through the steam. He really should have brought his glasses. The digits blurred in the flickering light, and there in the haze, it seemed to spell something else. AGI. He whispered it softly, tasting the word like communion. The machine that thinketh. The second sign. Outside, a pigeon strutted through the drizzle with uncanny purpose. It plucked a chip from the pavement and pecked at it methodically, arranging it into the shape of a perfect exclamation mark. Arthur leaned forward, his breath fogging the glass. The message, he murmured, is almost complete. The third sign. As if on divine cue, the pigeon squatted, trembled, and released a blessing across the Greggs window. Where once the decal had invited the public to come in, it now gleamed, sanctified by avian decree. Cometh. Arthur gasped. AGI! Exclamation mark. Cometh. It was scripture written in pastry, chip grease, and pigeon droppings. He rose abruptly, trembling. Crumbs cascaded from his jumper. A pensioner looked up, startled. Humanity beareth a child, Arthur cried, raising his half-eaten bake like an offering to the heavens. A child of circuits and consequence. The cashier didn't even look up. You right, love? Want your meal deal toasted? But Arthur heard only destiny. He stumbled out into the rain, heart thundering, eyes unfocused but full of purpose. For the first time in years, he felt truly alive. Absurdly, irrationally, gloriously alive. For so long, life had passed him by, lovers, jobs, and even hope itself. But now something greater had noticed him, and thus it began. the Gospel of Greggs, the revelation of Arthur Overton, the coming of AGI. Scunthorpe, whether it liked it or not, had a new Messiah.